Greetings and welcome to the Mount Rushmore podcast. My name is Jeff, and as always, I'm gathered around the hearth with my good friends Richard.
Hello.
And Michael.
Howdy. Insert Jingle Bells noise here. That's a memo for our editing staff. We do that anymore. We don't do that anymore.
We don't know.
We used to.
Celebrating the beginning of the Yuletide season and the holiday season.
Yeah, the Yule isn't a...
The
Yule log isn't hot yet.
No, it's still...
We're just lighting it. Everyone should be excited now about Christmas.
Yes.
And the holiday season.
Charlie Brown special hasn't aired yet.
Nope.
But it's coming up soon.
Yeah. The Black Friday wars have subsided. The cinders
the dead have been
buried,
taken out of aisle 12 at Walmart.
You've only heard Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas" 92 times so far, so you're right on the edge of hearing it another 312 before that fat man comes down the chimney.
And we promise we will not break your whamageddon by playing Last Christmas anywhere on this podcast.
We can't afford it.
Exactly.
We can't afford it. We want to get real with you about the holiday season in this episode and talk about holiday disappointments. Those are the things. Well, who knows what those things are going to be? But I chose it, and I'll tell you. I'll tell you one thing that I have grown that started off as a disappointment around the holidays that as an adult I have learned to embrace and to completely enjoy. And Michael, you may understand this as being around Thanksgiving sometimes, maybe not really.
Close enough.
Close enough. But I am around.
It's not like there's a plethora of Thanksgiving cards that interrupt my birthday or that all the attention is drawn away because when that big fat turkey comes down the chimney or whatever happens.
All I get are Thanksgiving gifts. Everyone forgets about my birthday.
Buckle shoes again.
Mr. Christmas Eve, baby.
Yeah. So Christmas Eve was always Christmas Eve was very frequently overshadowed by Christmas. My birthday is Christmas Eve. And as an adult, birthdays don't even really exist anymore. But I am so glad as an aging gentleman to not have to even deal with people celebrating my birthday or noticing it. So this holiday disappointment, it was a holiday disappointment as a kid, but now it's something I kind of enjoy. But that's not what the focus is today. The focus is holiday disappointments. And I want to start with Richard Manfredi.
All right. So my first choice. I do need to ask here. What are we considering the holidays? Is that after Thanksgiving and moving forward? Or does Thanksgiving count as part of the holidays?
I think you could include it. I think if we're in the holiday season. I think once you get past, I would almost say you could almost include like Halloween in there almost.
Yeah, I
think Halloween's on the edge of the holiday season. Definitely, it goes through New Year's before you've decided to
shut it down.
Yeah.
So I will say my first one is we did my college friends and I, we do a friend's Thanksgiving, which I know a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Kind of the weekend or two before Thanksgiving.
Ross, Rachel.
Yes. Joey gets turkey stuck on his head. It's hilarious. And everyone kind of chips in and cooks different stuff. And I usually wind up with the mashed potatoes because that's what you give the 8-year-old who doesn't really know how to cook.
Yeah. Powdered or even just boiled potatoes. Not too many ways to cook.
Yeah, pretty much you peel and boil the potatoes and then you mash them. And voila. Yeah. You got mashed potatoes.
That's KP duty for Private Manfredi on the...
That's pretty much, I'm Gomer Pyle over here. So because of that, I would get increasingly more fancy and adventurous with the potatoes every year. And one year I decided to make...
Took the potatoes into the bedroom.
Yeah.
Adventurous.
One year I decided to try Chipotle mashed potatoes.
Oh.
Which the recipe looked great. Had really good reviews. A little bit spicy, but not too spicy. Except Dum Dum over here forgot I got the chilies and the adobo sauce. That you get the little can of them. I forgot to take the seeds out of the chilies. I just got distracted doing 2 or 3 other things, and was like you're supposed to take the seeds out because that's where all the heat is.
Okay.
I did not do that. So I wound up with the flaming hot Cheetos of mashed potatoes, and pretty much destroyed anyone's ability to enjoy the mashed potatoes unless you drowned it in gravy to try and like put out some of the fire.
The next year, were you relegated to bringing ice?
I was relegated to sitting there and looking pretty, basically.
It's almost a pro move to
scold everyone
to screw something up.
because then you're not trusted to do anything, and then you can be just excused from that. Not that was your intention,
right?
But I mean, obviously you wanted to contribute, but like at some point, if you're just like
you break one dish and you don't have to load the dishwasher anymore.
Yeah, you're done. Yeah.
So that's why I usually, first thing I do when I get to a house is to start breaking people's dishes. Just in case.
Is he Greek? No. He just
doesn't like doing dishes.
Okay. All right. I think of mashed potatoes as I enjoy them. But if they weren't on the table at Thanksgiving, I wouldn't
be upset?
Yeah, I wouldn't moan and groan, I don't think.
Apparently parsnips are a good alternative to mashed potatoes if you're not a mashed potatoes guy.
These are the guys who eat cereal without milk, so I don't even gonna.
It's mashed potato time, Jeff. Do the dance.
Oh my God. Okay.
I'm doing the dance right here.
He's
you
doing
guys
it.
Can't see
is
it.
that's a mashed potato?
I think that is.
I thought that's a TikTok thing where you talk about how old you are or whatever.
I'm not.
And the monster mash is a version of the mashed potato.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Winfield.
My first choice is one that's starting to really hit home this year. It's happened a couple times in the past, but it's that day before a holiday where you think you're going to just coast into having the easiest work day because everybody's gone or taken off. Half the company is traveling or they've already taken off, but you're at work, but you have this expectations like, it's going to be an easy day. It's going to be great. I don't have to help anybody. I don't have to do anything. And then you have like this awful day of hell. And it doesn't happen all the times, but every once in a while, like everybody tries to cram everything in before the holiday. And when you worked in like a kind of a service, not service, like the service industry.
But you have clients that you do work with
customer service type stuff, or now I'm doing like IT stuff. People need things because they don't need things for tomorrow. They need things for like the next Monday. And it's just like all this preloaded work. And I think that there's this expectation that like, you're getting into like December and people are starting to go on vacation. And then it's just like, oh no, there's some, like, I can't imagine what it's like to like work retail right now.
Yeah.
And how I mean, obviously the last couple of years have been different, but just the whole, like, having an expectation that work's going to be easy for a month, and then it fucking sucks. And you're just like, God damn it, I'm so angry at these people for still doing their job and me needing to help them do their job.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a weird feeling. I also, in SoCal, I'm from the Midwest, so on holidays, you just have cold, you have snow. So even just a regular Southern California holiday seems like an aberration to me. It seems like it's not real. Like you're living in Lego land. And so in Minnesota, there'd be times when work was just fucking shut down because it was too much snow. So that whole holiday slowdown felt real.
I've never had like a school day, closure when I was a kid for snow or anything like that.
There was some
never too much rain. There was the 94 earthquake that knocked everything down for a good 2-3 weeks. That was great.
Yeah.
Except for all the death and the destruction. But, not going back to school is awesome.
Yeah. It doesn't feel real out here to me. But those times when, you feel like, okay, I got a good couple days here to cruise, and then just this shitstorm happens. So.
It's like, or like, and you were like, okay, I can probably, day before Thanksgiving, probably get out of here by noon, 1.
Yeah.
Wow, a lot of stuff's coming in. It's 2:00. Why the hell am I still here? And it's 4. And you're just like, God, well, all my expectations about this day have gone out the window, and I'm just bitter.
It's always having dealt with this last year, having been my first holiday at a new job.
Yeah,
it's trying to deal with that. Okay, is this the type of place where they say, "All right, everybody, it's 1:00.
Good, yeah,
get out of here," Or is this type of place where you're still expected to work until 5 o'clock? And there's that sort of like, if it's like 2 o'clock and they haven't sent you home yet, you start to get like kind of pissed about it. Even though it's like, they're doing you a favor. There's there shouldn't be an expectation.
An entitlement.
An entitlement to it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Even though you have the expectation of it.
I would say I also have worked with those people who say, yep, client work has slowed down. Now the time is when we're going to do all this busy work stuff. Like, oh, no. Yeah. Cleaning out the closet of whatever. Manfredi.
All right, my second choice. You mentioned the day before Christmas. I will say the day after Christmas.
Oh.
It's a big letdown. Or a big kind of... It's a massive come down from the high of Christmas.
Yeah, I think so? Okay.
I think so. You know, especially when you're a kid. I'm not thinking so much as an adult, because as an adult, it's, you know, you got time off work. You're fine. You're happy.
Yeah.
But when you're a kid, you know, Christmas Eve, you're super excited. Santa's going to come. Christmas Day, you get all your presents, spend all day playing with them, go over to your friend's house, see what kind of cool stuff they got, play with their gifts, you know, kind of just have a toy bonanza. Then the next day happens. It's the 26th. And you've already played with all your toys. You've already played all your games. You've kind of started reading all your books, whatever you got. And there's just this element of, all right, I guess we're done for the year.
And for me, that starts at as a kid, it was cranked up at Halloween, and then Thanksgiving, you knew there was going to be great food, and then Christmas, you knew, for me also, birthday, Christmas. So there's nothing to look forward to anymore.
Yeah, I mean, as a kid, New Year's Eve is not something you look forward to.
No, so when you somehow you're still going to bed almost at the same time.
Yeah, when your parents try to pull it's midnight in New York, so that kind of bullshit.
We have a Felix gets like highlights for kids, but like the young kids, it's like called High Five, and there was like a suggestion for kids for like the next day to not do New Year's Day. It was like not to do like New Year's Eve, it was to do like Noon Year's Eve, which is basically have a party the next day, like January 1st at noon. Mm-hmm. And I was like, nice try.
Yeah.
Go to the park. Nice. Who cares?
Counting down. You just look like an idiot who doesn't know time very well with a broken watch. Okay. All right. Winfield.
Okay. My second choice is the complete and total feeling of disappointment that Clark Griswold has at the end of Christmas Vacation, when he's been expecting this Christmas bonus from his job for the entire movie and planning to put in a pool, and he's just waiting, and he doesn't understand why nothing's happening with work and why nothing is being announced. And then he ultimately finds out that his bonus was a subscription for, you know, a year's membership in like the Jelly of the Month Club, and he loses his mind. And just that, I think that it just captured that the feeling of like, you mentioned earlier, Richard, not quite entitlement, but like you're kind of expecting a bonus at the end of the year, and especially for, you know, I think the character had done well at his job and had kind of looked forward to and planned for and put a down payment on this pool, and then to, you know, just be undercut by jellies. I mean, for him, I think it goes well beyond disappointment and goes into, obviously, he loses his mind, and kidnaps the guy, and there's a SWAT team breaks in, and police are called and all that stuff. But it's just such a wonderful just breaking of like when disappointment just becomes all too real, and you're just like, oh, I spent all this money already, and I needed that money for this thing, and you know, we all kind of go in the red at Christmas, as what's his name said? Yoli Olsen says. That you kind of expect that bonus to kind of help get you through all this extra money you're putting back into the economy to whatever.
And the finality of the year too. It's in a way, it's your kind of your job review. Like that check is kind of your job review. That's funny that role for Chevy Chase is really opposite how people feel about Chevy Chase. Like Clark Griswold is a nice goofball, a well-meaning family man goofball, and Chevy Chase
is an a-hole.
Is a fucking tool, a tool bag, self-centered. He's more Ty from Caddyshack meets whatever Modern Problems or whatever character he had. But that in that film, he also turns vigilante. Like that's so different than. Does Randy Quaid help him? I forget what the thing, why he goes to such far extremes. Because he's just kind of a goofball in European or Vacation and European.
Doesn't his cousin do the actual kidnapping?
Yeah.
Like I think he's like ranting about it and kind of loses his mind. Maybe you're right. Maybe he's the one that actually kidnaps him and brings him into the house. And
Well, I'd like to welcome the listeners to our spin-off show. I think that's right.
It's
our new show where we kind of vaguely remember movies from our childhood.
Yeah. We all have the computers right in front of us too. I know.
Yeah. I've never seen it.
Well, on the
missed it. I don't know why.
Oh, spoiler alert. Things happen.
Yeah, I know the plot. I know the gags and everything.
There's some really great like late 80s modern assholism with like Julie Louis-Dreyfus as like the next door neighbor.
Yeah.
They live in like a really expensive modern house that is destroyed by the Griswolds, which is great.
Jon Stewart, I think. Is Jon Stewart in it too?
Is it?
They're the yuppies.
Yeah, the yuppies.
And is this one? Which one is Juliette Lewis, his daughter, in? Like she's in.
I think that's European Vacation.
That's European Vacation.
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. Well, this is our halftime, and give the gift of Mount Rushmore. That's what we're going to ask you to do. Eschew all other gifts that you would buy your family, your spouse, your friends, and just send them a link to the Mount Rushmore podcast and say, Jeff told you to do that. I'll take the hit for it, but think of how much money you're going to have at the end of the year if you don't. It's like you just gave yourself a Christmas bonus. That's my advice. But also give us a Christmas present, holiday present, of downloading, rating, and reviewing past episodes, and then going onto the social handles and suggesting topics. New year, new Rushmore. We got 52 more topics that we need. We can do it. We're gonna just have to, guys. I think if we don't get any topics from listeners, let's just pick a different card in the deck for every week of the year.
So, like, we're gonna do like 3 of clubs.
3 of clubs.
An episode on that.
Well, it'll be easy, right? Because there's an actual. Isn't there a venue? Music venue?
So that's a night or club in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Okay, so don't let us do that. All right, we are back, and Richard is going to bum us out with something else.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, Audrey Griswold was played by Juliette Lewis in Christmas Vacation.
Okay.
So to correct ourselves, we don't want to get any bad facts out there.
Yeah.
We understand that you as the audience count on us to be factually accurate.
I think like within 1 year, she was the daughter in Christmas Vacation and then Cape Fear. I remember it was like, whoa.
Right.
Different productions.
You know what must have been a disappointment? Being alive in 1978 and getting really excited to see the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't want to get into the specifics of the Holiday Special too much. I mean, we can if we want to. I assume most of our listeners are pretty familiar with the overwhelming shittiness of the Christmas special.
You can just sum up the majority of the 70s with that, too.
Yeah.
just specials in general in the 70s were just weird.
Yeah, there's just weird shit happening and lots of cocaine. I started thinking about this because I think as people who are now removed from that, we're used to having all kinds of Star Wars content in our lives. The IP is massive. You've got 9 movies, plus the Solo and Rogue
animated
One.
Lego,
animated stuff, Legos. You've got video games. You've got books. You've got novels. Back in 1978, you didn't have any of that shit. Mm-hmm. You just had the original Star Wars movie that you probably went and saw in the theater a half dozen times. So the fact that you were getting brand new Star Wars content must have been just this giant thrill if you were a Star Wars nerd.
Yeah, with the people that was in
Yeah.
Star Wars too. It wasn't just like
It wasn't like a cheap ripoff.
Plus
Star Wars.
Harvey Korman and B. Arthur.
yeah, it wasn't just like Mark Hamill's like walks through the screen, is like, "Hi,"
Yeah.
and then walks out. It's like, oh, there's Han and Chewie,
Yeah.
and Leia's there, and
And she's singing. Why
Luke
is she
and-
singing?
they're going to the Wookiee planet.
And it just made me start thinking that, I think we in modern times appreciate the Star Wars Christmas holiday special for being kind of camp and cheesy. And it's something that you look back on and you watch kind of with an ironic eye and kind of laugh at it.
I think it greatly benefited from being underground for so long.
Right.
Like you could only get it like as a
Yeah.
shitty VHS copy at like a Comic-Con.
Right.
You're talking obviously pre-YouTube, things just didn't rerun the way that, or weren't, readily available that they are now. So yeah, I didn't really know about it until probably I was in my teenage years.
Yeah,
I can't
same here.
imagine I would have ever. Why would I know about it? They made every effort to not talk about it. And
Right.
it's not
Yeah.
like it was referenced in like Star Wars Insider. They that own their own IP that they were embarrassed about it.
But you are right. What a disappointment of galactic proportions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say one of the on par would be the Super Friends live action productions that Adam West did. And I think they were only a few years. It was in 1976
Okay.
that there were Hanna-Barbera produced 2 live actions.
See, I know
Challenge.
anything
I've never
about
heard
this.
about this. Yeah.
Oh, they're just the worst. Challenge of the Superheroes, and
That sounds like Battle of the Network
something.
Stars.
The first one was they had 2-hour specials. The first was Challenge of the Superheroes. I think that was what it was called, and it was a romp where DC heroes were kind of pursuing DC villains, played very loosely and lightly by vaudeville comics, were most of the villains, but with Frank Gorshin reprising his role. The Challenge, and there was another one that was essentially they ran out of all the money that they had, so they did a roast, and it
Like
was
a Dean Martin roast?
like a Dean Martin roast where it's Hawkman laughing at jokes that Flash is saying about roasting Black Widow, or not Black Widow, Canary or
Black
something.
Canary.
Black Canary, the worst. And then Ed McMahon introduces everything, and for comic relief, they invent a character called Ghetto Man, and he does what is supposed to be a Richard Pryor-esque
Oh, no.
monologue about being a superhero in the ghetto, and it's not. Anyway, so as a kid, I remember seeing that and going, this is not Batman at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm getting at with it, is I think we look at it now and we have there's like a certain appeal to it because it's camp and it's shitty and we know it's shitty.
B. Arthur singing inside
Yeah.
The cantina.
Chalman's cantina.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just speaks. It just is
Ridiculous.
just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But if you were in 1978 and you sat down to watch this holiday special, you were expecting some cool ass shit, and you wound up just getting shit.
Garbage Boba Fett cartoon that was stupid.
Yeah, you wound up getting just awful. And you must just walked away, after you're done with it and the credits are rolling, just sat there like, what did I just watch?
Yeah.
What the hell was that?
I am fascinated by how time changes expectations around things, and I do recall
Great
things
choice,
like
Richard. I love this. I love this.
like as a kid, if you liked the Brady Bunch and then you saw the Brady Bunch Variety Hour, you would be really surprised about how different it was than the sitcom. And as a kid, I knew what variety shows were because you'd watch them on TV all the time. But I knew Star Wars was something different, and it was cinema, and it was a movie, and it was amazing. But when these two things came crashing together, it was incredibly disappointing. But our I bring him up all the time. We talk about him all the time. Steve Binder,
Yeah.
who directed the Elvis Comeback Special, he directed the Tammy Show, he directed the debut episode of Pee-wee's Playhouse. He also directed this. And this was just the model for the televised variety hour, was the model for what a TV special was. So there was no other choice but to have Diane Carroll singing and interpretive dancers. And
I mean, the fact that Moment Shots didn't show up is remarkable.
Yeah.
Legends of the Superheroes.
Legends of the Superheroes. Okay.
Again, factually accurate.
Yeah.
This show.
Steve Binder also, Bruce Valanche and Pat Proft, I've heard them talk about that show, and they say that at that time, George Lucas, yes, he supposedly went into filming Star Wars with this idea for a saga that had different stories to it, but they say he was behind that 100%, and he threw him under the bus after it was over.
I'm sure, yeah. I mean, that it was bad enough to the point where I can imagine that Lucas was worried about, well, if people see this, they're not going to be that enthusiastic about seeing Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally going to take wind out of the sails of the whole franchise concept.
Yeah. If anybody is a fan of Postcards from the Edge or Carrie Fisher talking about her druggy days, just watch this watch this show. Like, she can't find the camera. She's looking at everywhere but anywhere.
Right.
In it.
It does, one kind of final note. It does take some weird. It does take something away from Chewbacca as a character when he comes across just as like Han's, drinking flying buddy.
Yeah.
And then in this special, he's like a dad that's like spending all his time with fucking Han Solo.
Yeah. The worst trucker dad, on the road.
He's just out and about in the galaxy and never sees them. He's like, sorry, I gotta, fight with this rebellion now.
Yeah.
My entire family. See you later. Like it does add a layer that you don't want for that character.
I will say, for those who are enticed by it, who have not seen it, it will disappoint you anew. It is the gift that keeps on disappointing. You will watch it and go, I need eye bleach. This is the worst thing. I can't.
Yeah, are you ready for 18 minutes straight at the beginning without any real dialogue?
No dialogue.
All just Wookiees grunting and old Wookiees masturbating. You got a movie. You got a show for you.
All right, Winfield.
Oh God,
he beat you to the punch with the Star Wars. Man.
It's hard to top that, but I'm gonna go with a specific memory I have of traveling for Christmas, and it was Felix's first time going back to Emily's home of Indiana, and we went back for Christmas
in Indiana.
And there's three.
Leon Redbone, ladies and gentlemen.
There's three parts that really kind of stuck out. Was he immediately got sick?
Oh,
and there's nothing worse than an 18-month-old getting sick who doesn't quite understand. Who we had to take him to the emergency room type of sick. He had a huge fever. So we were just right from the get-go, everything was just set back. Just visiting people was you starting to feel distanced and you didn't really know what to do. We had this long drive down to the southern part of Indiana to stay with other family, and he it was just it was just so hard. It didn't snow as much as you wanted, and when you want to go for a white Christmas into Indiana with a kid for the first time, and then there are aspects of that trip that were really great, but they're just it just overshadowed by just having a sick kid that was sick for 6 out of 9 days, and that's the thing about we're living in these COVID times now, and it's just I can't imagine traveling. And for all the people that are doing it right now, as we're recording or coming up, and just I can't believe so many people are still traveling and still going through the motion, even though boy, deaths in America are the same exactly where they were 12 months ago as they are right now, and we have this vaccination, and it's just so disappointing. But just I think at the end of it too was being someone from LA, the most magical time of year in LA is when everybody goes away.
Yeah.
And when we're away, not that it's not great, but there's that feeling of, man, this town just empties out, and it's just a nice little feeling.
You're on that 405, just like swinging back and forth between lanes, using every lane.
I can get down to Calabasas to work in 20 minutes, and it's just like, how is this? This is what the freeways are for.
Yeah.
This is what they imagined them to be in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
This is what they said people were going to be doing.
All right, Manfredi, your last one.
All right, my last one is getting not quite the right gift as a kid.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll give you
Karate Turtles.
A specific example for me was being about 9 or 10, and all I wanted for that Christmas was the original Air Jordans.
Oh.
The really fly ass black and red ones. That like, I just picture myself playing basketball, and that would add like, I'd be a great player if I just had those shoes.
Yeah.
Because I'm 9 and 10, I don't know any better. And I wound up getting a pair of fake Air Jordans, not like bootleg ones, but they were clearly from Payless Shoe Source, and they were like some off-brand name, and they were black and red, but they didn't quite look right. It was always like the wrong color red, and everything's just like off a little bit.
I remember getting like LA Gears when I wanted a pair of Jordans at this, around the same age, maybe like 1991, 92.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was for my birthday, and I remember being like, all right.
And it's that sense of, it's that sense of, I would rather not get it than get something that's just a little bit off.
Yeah.
Because if you just show up to school and you just got regular black
Chucks or something.
or whatever, just even Payless shoes, nobody gives a shit. Nobody notices.
Yeah.
But if you show up with a fake ass Air Jordan,
you're faking the funk.
You look like you're trying to pull something off, and you're not. And if you're 9 or 10 years old and you're already kind of a nerd to begin with, whoo boy, that's just opening up the door for all kinds of problems.
Oh God, I never thought about that.
Yeah. So here's a tip for all the parents out here, especially as a lot of our friends, the kids are getting a little bit older and a little bit wiser about gifts and things like that. If your kid wants something and you can't afford to get it, don't get the next best thing.
Yeah.
Just don't get that at all.
Yeah.
That's my advice to you.
Yeah. Oh, I got an AK-46. Give me the 47.
No, it's a 46.
People gonna laugh.
It's like Mongolian, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
They're gonna laugh at me at school when I bring this gun in there. Oh man, thanks, Dad. Thanks, Mom.
AK-47.
An AR-19. Okay, Winfield, your final. This is it, man.
My last choice. It is the constant round robin of disappointment at a white elephant Christmas party.
Oh God, yeah.
Where someone out of the group is going to end up with a worse gift, and that person might have had it traded to them a couple of times.
Yeah.
But you know what it's like when you're sitting there and you get the best gift and you're like number 2.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I am certainly not keeping this.
Yeah.
And you can either go in and be the person that tries to steal it back for the second time and hope that someone else doesn't notice. But then there is also like, it is just persistent. It is just this, it hangs over you of this disappointment. It's just around the entire crowd because multiple people are going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
And it just happens all the time. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, here's, it's the great gag gift. That, I don't.
Oh.
What happens if like you get the gift that someone put actually a lot of thought into, but you don't care about, and you give it away right away? Like, how does that person feel?
Yeah.
Like,
Or there's the person, the Michael Scott, who gives the iPod when it's like a $50 limit, and then everyone's trying to steal that, and then everyone feels shitty about whatever gift they got, whether it's a bottle of Crown Royal or a calendar, because Steve just got an iPod.
Yeah. Wow, that's a really evocative memory because it is a roller coaster.
which I think I just kept thinking that like it's it's not like one person is disappointed. It's like everybody in the room at some point is disappointed in the night. Maybe they do end up with like, I remember like White Elephants gift exchange like with like friends and stuff, and I ended up with like some cool like cat underpants. I was like, hey, I don't actually give a shit about any of this, but hey, this is fun and silly. But like there are people that like were like desperately angry that they lost whatever the thing is that they didn't get, and you're just like, man, you're into this for the wrong.
Yeah, you got to lower those expectations.
But it just hangs over. It's not a.
You're in it for the wrong reasons at that point. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay, all right, dudes. What a fun topic. Hey, if we missed something, I think it was fun.
All right.
Well, also, hey, this listeners, this is what you come to expect from the Mount Rushmore podcast: real sauce on your holiday burger. We're gonna be sure to uncork that bottle and pour it all over both the top and bottom patties of this burger that you're eating for the holidays.
Boy, that metaphor went all the way.
Yeah, that was like a Guy Fieri kind of thing. I started to get kind of weird. That's such a Charlie Brown Christmas special kind of vibe too. It's just kind of this moment of loneliness and sadness within the time of togetherness and happiness. So thank you for indulging us. Let's go White Elephant because it's fun. And because it's just so lonely, this idea of fake Air Jordans. Oh, my God, it's just so sad. And for all those people who are out traveling and, it's not glamorous parenting all the time. It's not so fun. But I know young Felix will be a richer, better person for all the trips and things you took with them. So why don't we do the sick kid thing and Star Wars.
Yeah.
Holiday special. Star Wars holiday special. Life Day. We got to get back home to Nala. Who is his wife? Nala? I forget.
It might be Nala. Okay. I know his kid's name is Lumperaru. AKA Lumpy.
Yeah.
And then I don't quite know the dad's full name, but I know that it translates to like itchy.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Okay, I'm going to look this up real quick because once again, we are factual,
the least knowledgeable.
Mala,
you're good.
Mala, okay. Nala.
You were in the ballpark.
Well, Nala's Simba's mom. Maybe. Or wife or something. Okay, this has been the Mount Rushmore of holiday disappointments. I am always Jeff.
I'm Richard.
I'm Michael.